Welcome to the Assignment Podcast, where your host is Ronnie Dior, a licensed mental health therapist. Be ready to laugh, to be inspired, and to take plenty of notes as she provides this great wisdom. Grab your pen, your paper, and tune in for the show. Hey y'all, hey, it's your host, the lovely Ronnie Dior. So let's start this episode off by giving you all a round of applause. I want to make sure that I'm always acknowledging you all because it's only through your faithfulness that this download happens. I want to make that clear. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I understand and I get it. I know that it may have been a word that you needed to hear, and that's why you chose the download button, right? But if it weren't for someone needing to hear it, there wouldn't be a word that needed to come forth, okay? So thank you. I do understand that God is everywhere and he knows everything. And so he will put in my heart and my mind to deliver a message to someone who needs to hear it, who intends on downloading. So I understand the process of that and I want to thank you. And yes, I will always thank those and acknowledge those, even when it's like, but if it wasn't for you doing X, Y, and Z, then we wouldn't. I get all that, but I don't like being in the spotlight by myself, so I'm always going to pull someone else in, okay? Just so that I'm clear. I live by two principles. When people show you who they are, believe them. Shout out to Maya Angelou. And the other one is, it's only lonely at the top because you didn't take anyone with you. So I'm not going to have the spotlight by myself. I'm going to always pull someone in. So again, thank you to the A crew. All right, today's episode shouldn't be too long, but it still should sow seed. Okay, I want to always sow seed that bear fruit. This week, I took a selfie. This selfie wasn't a photographic one. This is more of a metaphoric one. I looked into myself and I considered how I have been thinking, behaving, and working. Working whether towards a goal, whether working at work, whatever the case may be, I had to take an inward look, right? Sometimes we all need to do that. Sometimes we all need to just sit down and check ourselves. Look into your own stuff and see how you've been doing. And if what you have been doing has been of value to what you are trying to accomplish. Because if you're anything like anybody else in this world, you start, you have plans, you have thoughts, you have ideas, but then you just kind of get, I don't want to say lost or caught up, but you just start moving in a way and you find yourself, operating and moving and working and doing some things. And then it's like, but was it moving in the direction of where I'm trying to go? See, is that part, is that part. We all may get to the same goal, eventually, but it means a whole lot more when you are on track with where you're supposed to be going versus adjacent. You don't want to be adjacent and then find yourself or parallel or any of these things where you find yourself just moving and working and operating and doing. And that's really not the path that you should be taking. And the only way you can know that you kind of got off course is when you take a selfie. When you take a moment and look into what you are doing and does it have value and is it being profitable? So with that in mind, I created a list of reflection questions that kind of grew out of a sermon that I heard from Pastor Teray Roberts a couple months ago. He had a series, and at the end of the series, he asked us to answer some reflective questions. And he had like 4, basic questions. And, me being a therapist, I kind of dug a little bit deeper. And I took those 4 and I made 9 or 10. And so I'm going to pose these questions to you guys. And I believe that there are some questions that will generate growth. And I say growth because I don't want you to ask these questions just once in your life, right? I want you to do this monthly. Whether I record and ask you guys this monthly or you just set a timer, but I want you to ask yourself these questions monthly. That way you can track your growth, track areas of struggle, be able to make lasting changes that's actually developing your character on a regular, because you are always checking in with yourself. You need to always be having a self-evaluation. Just like your job won't let you just be there for years and they don't ever evaluate your performance. They don't ever evaluate, your growth. You can't tell if you've had any, spurts. You track your child's, growth by measuring them. I don't know if they still do this, but measuring them on the wall so that the child can see how much they have grown. You track in school when you're taking your tests and quizzes to see how much knowledge you have gained. So there's no difference, right? Now, as adults that's outside of a structured environment where someone else is asking you to track, you need to take the onus on yourself and decide that this selfie won't be photographic. This selfie is going to be metaphoric, but it's going to be life-giving. So grab a pen and a paper, or if you're driving, because you like to listen to me, as you know, on your little rides, come back to this episode. Listen now, but come back to it also when you have time and when you stop at a place where you can actually write down these questions and then think long and hard on these questions. I do not want them to just be, let me get it done, let me think real quick, let me write down the first thing that comes to my mind. Take some time with your responses, because I want you to take your responses seriously. Your responses should be the blueprint for what you're going to do next month, And so if you don't take your responses seriously, how can you effectively plan for the next month on how you're going to move and operate and get to that goal? So make this your own personal monthly review and self-evaluation towards whoever you are becoming, or just period, just you, just your household, just your family, just your marriage, whatever is going to be the purpose of the evaluation. I just want you to make that a monthly expectation. At the end of every month, you're going to do this. And the best way to do it, actually, which is why we're doing it this week, is the beginning of the following month. So this month, this week, since it's the beginning, you're going to reflect on last month. So you're going to reflect on last month, which would have been September. Do I have my dates right? Yes, that would have been September. And then it's going to help you plan out the rest of this month of October. Yes, we're already at day 6, but it's just day 6. You're good. So that's what I want you to do. All right. And we'll be right back with those questions so that you can get started. All right. So let's get into our selfies. We have a total of 11 questions that are going to be presented. So be ready. All right. First question. What did I learn about myself or from others last month? Now, this question is just plain and simple. It could be bullet points. But what did you learn about yourself? Whether you procrastinate, you get sidetracked, whether you are good motivating yourself, whatever. What did you learn about yourself or from others last month? Number 2, what did I gain from others or added to my life last month? This question, what did I gain from others or added to my life last month? This is looking for the positive things that happened last month that you kind of reflect on now and say, hey, if it wasn't for that person reaching out, calling, helping me with this, helping me with that, this is you realizing your support. This is that part. You acknowledging the support. Or I decided to start walking, or I started to change my eating habits, or I gave myself a little bit more grace, or just those added features that were positive. That's what that is. What did I gain from others or add to my life last month? Number 3, were my thoughts and actions majority positive or negative last month? Were my thoughts and actions majority positive or negative last month? If you remember, last month I posted an episode that said, what you thinking about? Because your thoughts become actions. And sometimes those thoughts cause us to stop moving, or it can cause us to start moving in directions that the Lord has not intended for us to move into. So I want you to allow this question to explore just where your head was last month. Where was your head? What were my thoughts and actions? Were they majority positive or negative last month? Sometimes that helps you realize, also why things happened the way they did or didn't. Number 4, what did I lose or sacrifice last month? What did I lose or sacrifice last month? Did you cut something out? Cut someone out? Stop something that needed to be stopped? Sacrifice. Think about that too, because sometimes we realize that in order to get something accomplished, we had to sacrifice our time. We had to set boundaries around what we could and could not do and for how long we were going to give our energy and attention to it. And that was a sacrifice. So what did you have to sacrifice last month? Maybe you didn't lose per se anything, but you sacrificed. So what did I lose or sacrifice last month? Number 5, what did I set my heart on? And was it worthy of my investment? Now that was directly taken from Pastor Torre. That did me in when I heard that one. So I want you guys to really think about that answer. What did I set my heart on? And was it worthy of my investment? They say your treasures are where your heart is. What you focus all your energy in is where your heart is. So where did you set yours? Was it work? Was it family? Was it, I just binge watched a lot of TV. Somehow I was utterly distracted and couldn't get anything done. And I just was doing a lot of, passive TV watching, passive social media. Was I working out a lot? Was I actually living out my dream? Was I actually working towards my goal? And then was it worthy of that investment? I think we forget that what we spend our focus and energy and time is an investment. We are literally investing time, energy, money, thoughts, creativity. We're investing a lot. So this question is kind of heavy weighted because it makes you kind of realize that if it wasn't worthy of that investment, try to stop setting your heart on it. Stop putting so much time, attention, and focus in it if it was not worthy of the investment. So number 5, what did I set my heart on and was it worthy of my investment? Number 6, where did I find value and was it healthy? Another Pastor Torre shout out. Where did I find value and was it healthy? Child, look, If that didn't make you chuckle, I'm sorry. I guess I'm thinking about me. Where did I find value? And was it healthy? What did I find worth? Where did I find, what did I give value to? And was it healthy? That is the second part of that question. That really is the check for that question. Because was it healthy or was it unhealthy? Because if it wasn't healthy, that means it was unhealthy. And then we need to change some things in that and reevaluate some things in there, you know. Number 7, what were my priorities and were they profitable? Now, number 7 kind of pulls from 5 because this is your priorities. And when you set your heart on something, you make it a priority. When you set, that means I'm intentional. I am intentionally doing this thing. I'm focused on this thing. This is now a priority to me. This is something of importance to me to make sure it gets done. And was it profitable? Was it profitable? Did it produce more creativity? Did it produce money? Did it produce the next step? Like, okay, if my priority was to make sure this assignment or this activity was completed, then it was profitable because it was necessary for me to get to the next step. It was necessary for me to check this off the to-do list so that I can go on to the next thing because it all adds up. This is when you're working towards something and you identify steps and sequences. Okay, well, you have to take these necessary steps to get to the end. Did it profit you? What you set as a priority this week, was it even in line with the steps that you needed to accomplish to get to the end game? This is why I said these things are good for monthly check-ins because you have to basically sometimes get yourself back in line with what you need to be doing versus what you have been doing. Number 7 again was what were my priorities and were they profitable? Number 8, who am I as a reflection of my actions last month? That's the final one from Pastor Ture. And I kind of tweaked it a little bit. Who am I as a reflection of my actions last month? Now, I do not want you to make a declarative I am statement here because what I don't want is for number 8 response to be, well, I'm trash. That's who I am. I'm trash because I was off base last month. I was a whole fool in these streets. I was distracted. I procrastinated. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So therefore, I am trash. I do not want that to be your response, even if that's what this person that came to your mind. I want you to actually sit with that for a second. And if you were procrastinating a lot, if you were off task, if, 1 through 7 helps you realize that maybe you were kind of off base a little bit, then maybe a reflection of who I am is a reflection of my actions. Maybe who I am is someone who is still in need of something. I am someone who still struggles with focus. I am someone who needs help staying motivated. I am someone who requires a support team. Like, don't make it negative, because if you make it negative, you're committing to a thought process that has no pouring in for growth. You know what I'm saying? If we decide that we're going to, as a therapist, we come from a strength-based approach. I want to know things about you that, not just the negative things that's going on with you, but the positive things that's going on with you and that you've ever done in your life. Because if you are struggling in this place, we're going to pull from that area that you had strength and use that to help you get to where you need to go. So that's why 8, I don't want it to be a negative reflection of who I am because of last month, because we need to just identify, maybe I'm not trash, but maybe it identifies that I'm still struggling in this area. I am someone who needs help. I am someone who needs support. I am someone. So then that way your response for next month can be, how do I make sure that I'm not number 8 again this month? So what support circles do I need to put in place? How do I need to seek out motivation? How do I need to seek out the things to make me a better number 8? You get what I'm saying? Because number 9 is, what do I need to do this month to maintain my identity, protect my becoming, and my expectations for myself? This is why number 8 can't be negative. Because number 9 is, all right, that is what last month showed you about who you were. But number 9 is saying, now how do we change it this month? So maybe number 8 was a positive reflection. And so number 9 is asking you, what do I have to do to maintain that identity? How do I protect my becoming? And how do I maintain my expectations for myself or achieve those expectations for myself? So if 8 kind of had a negative connotation about it, as far as I am somebody who still struggles in this area, I am somebody who needs help, I am somebody who is not, consistent. That's what it showed me. I'm not consistent. And that could be something, I had to have a reflective month like that said, you know what, last month's actions showed me that I'm not consistent. So number 9, what do I need to do this month to become consistent? All right, now I need to set up a timer. I need to set short-term goals. I need to set realistic goals. I need to give myself some grace. I need to sacrifice. I need to create a schedule that is going to help me streamline and be more consistent. I may not need to commit to 10 things because it's hard to be consistent with 10 things, but maybe I can be consistent with 3 things. So that's how you allow number 9 to help your number 8. Okay? So number 9, what do I need to do this month to maintain my identity, protect my becoming, and meet my expectations for myself? Number 10, what motto or scripture will I live by this month? See, that's that motivation part. That's what's going to get you going. That's what's going to keep your thoughts. That's what's going to keep your head. That's what's going to keep your focus. Okay? What motto or scripture will I live by this month? Number 11, which is the final one. How will I practice self-care this month, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? How will I practice self-care this month, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? I would never talk to you guys about self-reflection and not include self-care. I'm all about self-care. I am big on self-care practices day to day. So mentally, how am I going to do? Well, first of all, I'm going to check in with myself. I'm going to think about what I'm thinking about. I'm going to take inventory on my thoughts. I'm going to pour into my thoughts. I'm going to feed my thoughts with, positive readings, positive podcasts, positive conversations. I'm just going to take a mental break. Hello, some of us need to disconnect. Emotionally, what am I going to do? I'm going to allow myself to be present with my emotion. I'm not going to try to push that emotion to the side and act like I don't, I'm not experiencing that. I'm going to put some respect on that emotion. I'm going to feel all the feels. Okay. And then I'm not going to let that drive me, however. All right. Or emotionally, I'm going to allow myself to be happy. One thing I do with my clients sometimes, especially my teen clients, I will say to them when they're like, I just woke up this morning and I was just in a bad mood. But it's first period. How are you already in a bad mood? Like, what did you wake up with? Did you choose violence when you woke up this morning? Like, come on. So I want you to think about emotionally, what's going to be the tone for your day today? You set the atmosphere. You set the thermostat. I am going to be happy today. I'm going to be unbothered today. I am going to just be at peace today. Like, you choose the emotion that you want to experience today. So that way you're protecting it. So when different things come towards you, you are purposely and intentionally mindful of the conversations you take in, the things that you do, the atmosphere that you're around, because you know that it would alter that emotion that you're choosing. And the moment that you realize somebody didn't mess with your thermostat and changed the dial because they came to you with foolishness, you kind of, you took the bait, you went there a little bit. It also helps you to reflect and say, wait a minute, this ain't the mood that I chose today. So what do I need to do to get back to where I was at? And if you woke up and you chose violence, or you feel away, because there are times when your hormones do things and you just feel away and you don't know why, then what do you do to keep yourself from escalating that mood? That's important too. If I feel away, if I'm just, in my head and I don't quite understand why, what do I need to do to keep from escalating today, though? From popping off on somebody because I'm already in a mood. That's self-care. That's being aware, emotionally aware. Physically, what am I going to do? Am I going to let myself rest? Am I not going to just wear myself out this month? Am I going to go for walks? Am I going to soak? Am I going to drink water? Am I going to eat vegetables? Am I going to be mindful of the carbs and the fried foods and the this and the that? What am I going to do physically? And then spiritually, how am I going to be poured into? What is feeding my spirit? What conversations are not feeding my spirit? So, last but not least, number 11, how will I practice self-care this month mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? If you lovelies have any questions or want to share any of your responses with me, feel free to email me at mybestself.dior@gmail.com. That is mybestself.dior@gmail.com. I look forward to all the feedbacks and all the comments. And if you have a question that you specifically want me to address on the show, email me and let me know that too. Put that in the subject line, question for the show. And I'll make sure that it is intertwined into the episode. I will always be open and transparent with you guys. That's my word. That's what it has always been for the last 2 years. And I will continue to do that because I feel that is the only way to reach people and help them transform into the person God has called them to be. So until next time, you guys have a good selfie day. Please be advised, although Rhonda Dior is a licensed professional therapist, neither she nor this show serves as a substitute for receiving private therapeutic services. For more information about services, please visit www.diormovement.com. That's www.diormovmt.com.